friends. Sky is still blinking. We're at the trailhead called the Grotto. And this morning, this is probably going to be a 2 or 3 part series. So we're back on the Kabachi Trails, and it is a crisp 13 degrees this morning. We may do a tarot card reading. Also, look at this beautiful view. We may do a tarot card reading. But this is kind of a recap. Of next steps. So the tarot card reading I did yesterday was about next steps and the next pathway, right? And I took the leap of faith. And we always talk about new cycles and leaps of faith and unlocking the next step of the journey. So I already kind of unlocked the first step, and I have the second step that I'm going to unlock. And for longtime listeners of my TikTok, you will know that this whole TikTok experience has been documentation and building up, and everything goes in cycles, because I am in fact who I say I am. And there are certain people out there with the power and abilities to do what I've done. And though it's a lot of homework to go back through 2,000 videos, if someone ever did and took the time to listen to her story instead of his story, it would become very clear what's been taking place and how I've been telling this story, how I've been showing you the cycles, telling you what the future holds. But it's not just because I'm a fortune teller. It's because, again, and I've said this for a very long time, script writers, right? I write the script, I tell you as it plays out, and I tell you after it plays out, and then the next thing. So I've actually known since November 2024 what this step is. And it's always getting past the ego, it's getting past fear, all that stuff. I've ascended multiple times, right? I've cleared this pathway multiple times. And I've been waiting to see if essentially the humans that I've come in contact with would help me avoid this pathway, help me through this pathway, push me past this pathway, or, by the way, look how beautiful it is, or if I needed to do this pathway. And I think I always knew anyways. It's kind of a get out of jail free card in a way, and I've always had it up my sleeve, and I've known about it again since November 2024. I just never used it. And so my enemies, they're really going to hate this one. And when I say enemies, I say like ops, right? Mainly it's the people in my personal life that I've experienced along the way that aren't going to like this pathway. And the reason for that is, and I've shared this journey for a long time, right? Everybody that came in contact with me and were a part of my life in the physical had, what do you think? Trail 4 or the shortcut? Let's go through the shortcut, since my next step here that I'm talking about is actually a shortcut in a way. I could have taken the shortcut in November 2024, but I decided not to. Again, when I posted the video less than a week ago, and I said, I like that people have the free will and the choice to do whatever they're going to do. It makes it fair. It takes out illusions. It gives everyone the freedom of choice. It's justice, right? So anyways, I gave everybody the opportunity to do the right thing as I came into their life. But one thing I never explained on TikTok, but I explained to them in the physical, because again, I had these conversations with all of these ops. I was closing out cycles and roots from past lives, again, because of who I am. And I've always been very open about who I am and why I'm here and why I came to this planet. But part of my role here was to close out the root, again, because where we are right now, to close out the root of the tree. The damage that was done in past lives, and give people the opportunity. Are they going to do it again? Are they going to repeat it? Are they going to change their ways, essentially? You know, have they learned anything through all the lives they've lived? It's not just about lineage. And unfortunately, you know, unfortunately for them, I was a test. And unfortunately for them, they all failed miserably. They know who they are. They know what they did. Wait till you find out. It's going to be crazy. You're going to be like, no fucking way. And I'm like, yeah, way. Gets funnier every time as we get closer to this next step. Because this next step is going to be shocking. It's going to be very fun. Eventually, it'll be really fun for me. It'll be really fun for a lot of people in the collective. But, not for my ops. They're not going to like it. And another point of me making this video, because I've said it in cycles since November 2024. There's the train horns. None of them can say they did not know. 8:33 on the timer. 100%, not any of them can say they didn't know. And they're going to lie to you. And they're going to try and save face. And they're going to try to say they didn't know. They're going to try to say, oh, it wasn't, that's not how that happened. So I already wrote this, though. I already wrote this into existence if you go back far enough. You will know if they're lying if you go back to my karmic readings, because words have power, and when certain souls say certain things, especially if they're script writers and their soul is ancient, sometimes when you say things and you put it out there, it's written in stone. Again, so I said, after the next step that I take, and trust me, this won't be long. This will not be long at all before shit just goes absolutely ham, okay? One of my ops is really going to hate that word, ham. I'll explain later. I said, they're going to try and lie. They're going to try and put out falsities. They're going to spin the narrative. And when they do, they will shit themselves. They will vomit. And it'll only progressively get worse. And I know where we're at on the timeline, because the people that are included in this, they also watch my TikToks. Some of them are living their karma that I already wrote out from 6 weeks ago, about the beginning of December. And I confirmed that yesterday, and I was like, uh-oh. Again, I said, car accidents, you name it. One of my ops, I mean, I tried to warn them so many times, and none of them wanted to do. And the saddest part is all they had to do was tell the truth and apologize and work through their healing and their chakra system, and, you know, to get to ascension. The point of me being in their lives, yes, was to be a test. But at the end of the day, what they never understood is whatever they did didn't matter. I never cared. Whatever they stole, I didn't matter. I didn't care because it never mattered. The act that they did never mattered, truly. And that's why I could sit in front of them knowing exactly what they did and not say a word, right? People say I have a great poker face after I leave. And it's not a poker face. It's because I genuinely don't care, because I know what the future holds. I know that none of that matters. It was simply, could they come and tell the truth and apologize and never repeat it? And none of them could. And that was the only requirement. It was never give back what you stole. It was never turn yourself into law enforcement. None of it. But as they continued to wait and wait and wait, then the karmic readings got stronger. And it said, okay, well, since you couldn't tell me and you had such, I mean, so these people had years, 8:37 on the timer. These people had years and they couldn't do it. So then it got progressively worse. Okay, now if you want to fix it, you have to, you know, publicly apologize and admit what you did. Again, none of them could do it. Actually, all of them lied. They kept lying. And a lot of them couldn't figure out how I kept putting on my TikTok account and knew what they were doing behind closed doors, the conversations they were having. Again, none of them wanted to believe who my soul was until it was just... Anyways, which I get it. It is hard to believe, right? It is hard to believe that the Most High would really send down certain people in the flesh to do their bidding. But, you know, history will tell you it happens all the time. So, we're going to go to a part 2, and I'm going to explain that this next step is going to be shocking, and they can't say they didn't know, because